Want to share some tea with me today? How to live in a minivan. How to live in a minivan, okay? Let's start with some basics, because in 20 minutes, I can't really tell you everything that needs to be said about this. Now, I do have the book, How to Live in a Minivan, and it's on Amazon. So it goes from A to Z, all the way through, from just thinking about it to actually doing it and then beyond. I mean, what's it like living in a minivan? I think it's exciting. Once you get going on it, it really is a lot of fun. I love it. My friends love it, and most of them would not turn back, and they really don't want to go get a place. I don't want to rent anymore, and I'm not going to buy a home, because that's no guarantee you're going to be happy either. I mean, the taxes and everything. And one of my issues on renting or owning is the neighbors. You never know what your neighbors are going to be like. I've had neighbors from hell renting, and I just don't like it. If I don't like what is happening around my home here, because this is my home, I can get in the car and I can drive and I can move. Yeah, there are so many places to go. One of you have asked just recently, aren't you afraid? Don't the police know that you're living there? Don't they see your car all the time? No. I mean, we don't live in a police state, do we? No, well, not yet. No. I'm in Tucson right now, and it's a big city. A lot of the policemen, they're actually at this park often. I mean, they wave to me. And I'm not sleeping here overnight, okay? And then when I am in Flagstaff, it's a smaller town up north in Arizona. And the people know in the city, they know that we're parked there. We know we go there every summer because it's higher elevation. It's cooler for the summer. Now, do they hate us or they want to arrest us? No. You know why? Because we're helping support the community. Flagstaff is a tourist town. In the winter, they have skiing, but in the summer, they have nomads that go up there. And they don't want to get rid of us. They don't want to harass us, because they know that we're pushing in a lot of money into their community. Okay? There might be an ordinance that, no, you can't park on the street overnight and everything, but they're only going to enforce that if you're a no-do-gooder. If you're making a mess or you're too loud or whatever, yeah, they're going to push you out of the community. But there are so many nomads that go up there. No, it's not that we don't live in America. We're in America and we don't live in a police state. Now, I know that a lot of my viewers are not in the United States. You're everywhere. You're in Canada. You're in Australia. You're in the UK. You're even in South Korea. Yeah, I mean, you're all over, okay? India. And so, hey, to all my national viewers, love you. Thanks for watching. But I'm going to talk mainly because I'm in the United States, what goes on in the United States, okay? So there's really nothing to be afraid of. Now, I do like a minivan, how to live in a minivan, because the minivan is very stealthy. I don't stick out like a sore thumb. I call it urban nestling. I nestle in with the locals. Okay, I don't have a carrier on top of my van. I'm not pulling a trailer. It's just a regular car that fits in anywhere. The same as with the SUV or a sedan, or even a high-top ProMaster. I mean, a lot of people drive those now, just as a regular vehicle, and they're non-nomads. They don't do the van life. So those fit in really well, too. But like a Class A or a Class A, oh my gosh, no. You can't really do a lot of traveling in a city in a Class A and park anywhere. I will mention there are Walmarts that you can park at overnight, okay? And of course, there's Cracker Barrel. If there's a Cracker Barrel in the town or the city, usually, almost 99% of the time you can park there. You can't go park there and live there, although I've seen that happen. But yeah, you can park at a Cracker Barrel, and there's other ones, maybe Home Depot if you go in and ask, a Lowe's. You know, there's different places that you can, but you need to go in and ask. And what I recommend is that even if it's a Walmart, you need to go in and ask, because really Walmart's becoming like 50-50. There's one Walmart in Tucson that there was one summer when I had my travel partner that we parked there almost every night. One of the things with my travel partner, here's the issue with that, is that he had a high-top ProMaster. And he didn't go to bed early. He would just sit, and he usually would vape, and so he had his window down, and then I would park maybe behind him, and I go to bed early, had my window coverings up. So going into the neighborhoods was really tough, because he was just sitting there. People might be looking out going, why is that guy just sitting there with his, why is he just sitting in his, so that made it more difficult. It really did. It made it more difficult for me to nestle in. So when I was with him, a lot of times we would go to the Walmart, and that's the only reason I did the Walmart there. I don't do Walmarts. One of the reasons is they're very noisy at night. They have these big lights coming down, in the parking lot. So I do neighborhoods. And in my book, I talk about where to, what to look for to find a good neighborhood parking spot. And I also have a couple videos that I could leave at the end of the video about parking, okay? So you don't have to be afraid, and we're not in a police state, okay? Yeah. And a lot of nomads, they park on BLM land, which is Bureau of Land Management. That's what the acronym first stood for, okay? Right? And so a lot of people, and right now, a lot of people are in Quartzsite. If you don't know about Quartzsite, Arizona, it's near the California border. It's up by Lake Havasu. It's going north of Tucson and north of Phoenix, and it's on I-10. You can access it right on I-10. Now, in the winter, during December, January, and February, a lot of people go there, and they spend all that time there, which is usually a 3,000 population town, Quartzsite, okay? In that area, especially in January, they have 250,000 people there because there's so much BLM land, which is undeveloped land. There's no water or electricity or restrooms there, okay? There's a whole thing, and I've done a lot of videos about Quartzsite, and I'll leave a link for that too. But they're there. I like to do the cities. The last couple of winters, I just stuck with Tucson, and I like it here. I mean, I have a lot of nature. I have parks I can go to. I can go to the Swan National Monument and spend the day there. Yeah, I mean, I love it here in Tucson. It's big enough. I can kind of nestle in. But in Quartzsite, I mean, it doesn't cost any money to be there. And you're going to really meet a lot of different van lifers, van dwellers. What happened with Quartzsite is somebody in the city council got pretty smart. And what they did was they decided to roll out the red carpet for van dwellers. Yeah, because so many of them were going anyways. My parents back in the 80s, they sold their home and they bought a fifth wheel and they went traveling. They used to spend time in Quartzsite. But this was before it actually even became popular. So I'm a second generation nomad, okay? I'm second generation van life. And what they did was they rolled out the red carpet. And I will tell you that, remember I said like up in Flagstaff that all the nomads go up there and spend time there, but they're spending their money. Well, Quartzsite got smart because, 250,000 people descend on there and they're spending their money. I will mention Mainstream Laundromat, Jerry and his wife there, they're now millionaires just from a laundromat. Yeah. So communities who want to push out van life, they're losing out. They're losing out on money. If you're going to live in a minivan and you're going to convert your minivan to a home or even a camper van that you could use to go camping, instead of paying all this money for hotels if you're going to travel. But first what you need to do is, I recommend get out your seats. I have all my seats are missing out of my van. Can you imagine how much weight I eliminated and driving and gas I'm saving by getting rid of my seats, I'm going to say, people say, well, boy, that must be a lot of weight because you're carrying everything you own. Not really. Those seats were heavy. I mean, the passenger seat alone was about 80 to 90 pounds. The second row seats were 60 each. And the back row seat, it was a long one and then a short one. You know, I eliminated about 120 pounds back there. So there's no way that I'm carrying all this weight with me. So I recommend first getting out your seats. Decide what you want to do and get out your seats. If you want to keep your seats, you can always get storage and store them in there. I got rid of mine. I don't need them anymore. And I'm not going to resell my van. I will drive this van until it no longer wants to go any longer. Because I love it, yeah. So next you're going to want to do flooring and windows. You want to get your flooring done first. Now, I have a no build out. That means there's nothing everything is I can move everything around. All my drawers, yeah, my 3 back here, my drawers here that I keep my clothes in. Yeah, nothing is stationary here. I can move it all around. So I like to no build because I like to sit. Okay? This is my area here. Yes. I can sit all the way through. Yeah. Let me move this over. Yep. I can move all the way this way. And I like to sit on the floor, but I'm going to show you how much padding I have. Okay, hold on. Okay, I've got a towel here. Blanket, thick blanket, another towel, and I've got a really nice thick carpeting here. And not to mention that there's already carpeting upholstery here. So I've got a really nice video on how I started, because I had a previous Kia Sedona. I had a 2006, but the gaskets were leaking so bad, and it started, the oil was leaking into my engine, and I had to replace it with this one, which is another Kia Sedona, which is really, it's just a coincidence. It was what was available that I found on Craigslist. Okay, so what I did, I have a video that shows you how I moved all of my stuff from my older minivan over to here. It's quite the process. It was a lot of work. But I show how I laid down my floor and my windows. You have to decide on your windows. And it's in the book, okay? And I can leave the video link. So I'm not gonna talk that much about it because I wanna move on here. There's so many different subjects about van life. Okay, a lot of you have asked, oh my gosh, how about your mail? How do I get my mail? Well, let me tell you about my packages though. You say, well, how do you get packages if you don't have an address? Well, I like to order on Amazon. And there are Amazon lockers and there are Amazon pickups. If you have a Whole Foods in your town, that's owned by Amazon, and they have a whole desk up there that your packages come into, and you go pick them up. It's so easy. Oh my gosh. But there's also lockers that you just have to go on. I've done videos on that too, that you have to go on Amazon and look at your account and say, add on some new addresses. They'll show you, you type in the zip code or the city, and it'll show you all the names and locations of lockers. Now, not everything can go to a locker, okay? Or a pickup. I mean, you can't send you can't send anything that has lithium battery in it to a locker or a pickup place because they find that dangerous. But what you can do is you can have them send it to a UPS store near you. Now, it's going to cost you either $5 for small or $10 for large, but hey, it's a pickup, you know? Okay, so now your domicile, that's kind of a complicated thing. But everybody has to have a domicile, unless you're so homeless and you're not even in the system any longer. But everybody has to have a domicile. I don't know. The lighting's probably going to be bad because I wanted to do this outside. But, so you have to have, it's called the domicile. That's the state or county with which you follow the laws. On your license, on your registration, on your voting, on your taxes, all kinds of taxes, on your estate wills, things like that. Yeah, you follow the laws. Now mine is in Ohio because that's where my eldest daughter is. She handles my mail. She handles everything for me. I use her address, and a lot of nomads do that. But there are other places that you can do it. They're called mail forwarding. Okay, and a lot of people go up to the South Dakota and do their mailing there. They make it so easy that you can just stay overnight in South Dakota and you can become a resident, and then they just move you through, you go through. I mean, you pay for the mail forwarding, but that's how nomads do it. They either have a family or friend do it, and you have to trust them because that's your mail. You have to be able to trust them to do it, or you have to get a mail forwarding address. You can't just use a P.O. box or your storage unit address or something like that, because the system knows about that. They'll just knock it off. What else did I want to talk about? I mean, you have to know what gadgets you need. For my power, I use a power station. Look at that. I mean, I can hook this up to a outlet or solar or my 12 volt cigarette lighter. And I've got USB. I've got an electrical outlet here. Yeah. I mean, this is what nomads use. They have power stations. I do have solar on my roof. You can't see it. I've got it so that I've got a flexible solar panel, which is so thin, and you can't see it up there. So I fit in really well locally. Now, what if you have a pet? Well, there's no problem. Well, it's a problem for me. I don't want to have a pet. I would love to have a little dog, but I really don't. The dog would have a lot of fun. Oh my gosh, there's no problem to that. That'd be cruel to a little dog. No, it's a lot of fun. I mean, a lot of times at home they just sleep anyways, and then you can take them for walks and they get to be outside a lot. But I have seen people with big dogs in a minivan or a SUV. That wouldn't be my cup of tea. No way. No way. I like my space, and I like a clean space. I don't really want dog hair in here. Now, I've seen people with cats too, but then you have to have a litter box. That's not my idea of a good clean minivan. No. Now, cooking, I use a butane stove. No problemo. No problemo. I have a 12 volt refrigerator. I personally don't plug it in because it drains my energy, my battery, my power stations. So I just put ice in it. Now this summer I do a lot of camping. I'm half camping and half in the city. So I do a lot of camping. I do have a portable solar panel that I can put out in the sun, because in the summer I don't like to park in the sun. Yeah, it gets hot in here. How do I stay cool? You've asked about that. I have a 12 volt fan. Yeah, and I can plug it in. I can recharge it. It's rechargeable. I can charge it up and I use it. And what I do is I call it wet and wind, the 2 W's. Stay wet and use wind. Water, wind, water, wind. So it's like an evaporative cooler. So, and I talk about that. And I've got videos on this. I'm just going to give you the basics right now. What else have you been asking about? Well, you can also work. Yeah, for the first 3 years, I worked across the country. I worked Amazon warehouses. And what I did was I just stashed all the money that I made, okay? I got the energy and the power. Now, where did nomads go? I talked about that. We're in cities. We're on BLM land. We're out camping. Oy vey shmir. We're everywhere. We're everywhere in the United States. Did I miss anything? I have found as a nomad in van life, I don't always have to cook. I mean, I can eat. I can get like One thing I do like is packets of tuna. I don't like to eat a lot because of the mercury, but you can get sardines and kipper snacks. Just make sure that they're wild caught, and small fish don't have a lot of mercury. You can cook eggs. Yeah. You can do produce. It's pretty easy to eat healthy without having to cook all the time, doing major cooking. Now, when I lived in a house, I was a good cook. Oh my gosh. I mean, I raised 4 children by myself. My husband was killed in a car accident when he was 40. And so I became a single mom of 4 children. So I'm a good cook. Oh my gosh, I'm a good baker. I used to bake bread, make soups every week. Oh my gosh, yeah. I was a good cook. But I don't cook anymore. I do other things. I do writing, and I do videos and graphic arts and things like that. Cooking is not in my repertoire right now anymore. It just doesn't interest me that much. So I really don't miss it. I've given away all of my items to my children, okay? And so I had a collection of like cast iron pots. I was a gadget person in the kitchen. I loved gadgets, things like that. So, but I don't miss it. I mean, I eat very healthy. I eat raw produce and, stuff like that. So let me finish up with going to the bathroom. Yeah. What about going to the bathroom? Well, I have friends, Nomad friends, who actually go to, when they wake up in the morning, they go and find they have their favorite place, and they go to either gas station or Walmart. You can go in the bathroom there at 6 o'clock, and things like that. And then in campsites, there's bathrooms. But there has to be kind of an emergency, because what if you had to go like really bad? Okay, so all nomads carry like a pee bottle. I have a wide mouth because I'm a girl. I don't have a hose to aim into a small place, so I have this. And then what we have is a bucket with a bag inside. And this actually had a cover on it, but I got rid of it. It's like it was in my way. So I just tore it off. You can buy these, and there you go. Okay? I mean, it might sound like, oh, that's horrible. It's not horrible. I mean, it's not. You might think, oh, that's like, no. It's easy. I will mention that a lot of nomads, especially when you're on Quartzsite and you meet people and you become friends and this stuff, potty talk, I have found most nomads talk about potty talk, potty stuff. Yeah, pooping. That's right. Yes, and peeing, yeah. So this is how we can go to the bathroom. I don't like to use public restrooms very often. Every once in a while I go into Walmart if I'm in there. And I forgot to go here, but this is my preferred. It really is, because I know it's clean, and I know that I'm not touching doors, and I'm not touching a lot of, stuff that other people are touching. So, well, I hope you found this interesting. Leave your comments and leave your questions. I will answer them. This is what van life is about. And this is basically, I just gave you the basics on how to live in a minivan. I mean, I love it. I've got this thing fixed up really nice. This is my little cave. This is my woman's cave, okay? Okay, I love you guys. So, I do have the book, How to Live in a Minivan, the Minivan Lee Way. I also have another one that just has been published, and it is called 8 Years Living in My Minivan, Van Life Chronicles, and it's right there. And I just finished it. It's about my 8-year journey. There are hilarious stories. There are the people I've met. There are where I went, how I managed. There's some scary situations. There's love lost, love found, and love lost. Yes, so that's a whole section of the book, and it's just where I'm at right now, and it's really good. It's a really good book. I know you're gonna love it, so really get it. 8 Years Living in My Minivan, Van Life Chronicles. Please subscribe and give me a thumbs up, okay? Now, if you want to go to minivanlee.com, On my website, it's secure, it's safe. If you want to support me, click on gifts. I get 100% of everything because it's my website. If you want to support me. So until tomorrow, I love you guys. Mwah. Bye now. I got a lot to do today. I'm going to have fun at the park. Exercise, walk. Bye.